Hello again, and welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the Rural Report. I am your Rural 2IC, and bear with me. 30 seconds is all I ask. But the book is doing well. I have pretty much everything wrote. I am now into the editing stage. I'm getting everything formatted, doing a little bit of changes and everything. I'll be sending it out and having somebody proofread. I already did kind of the online thing of proofreading and whatnot. But I will be able to give you a lot better update here, hopefully in the next couple of weeks. Um, Second one is I want to give a shout out to the Orlando Prepper. He has been helping me along with everything on the in between once you have a book written on the next steps on getting it published. So I want to give him a shout out, as well as I picked up one of his books. This is a great read. I'm not fully done with it yet, but I did pick it up. He has it over on Amazon. Great read. Uh, it's one of the ones you can go buy this pretty cheaply if you just want the digital version. I'm more of the old school. I want the hands-on. I want to take this. This is actually such a good read that more than likely this will go in one of my go bags or bug out bags or something, because I could read this a few times. That's not just saying that, because we're friends. It's actually a really, really good book. So thank you for that. Now, second announcement is we are getting much, much closer. I am now into a lot more of the planning stages for the Caleb House auction. Real quick, if you don't know what that is the auction that we're going to do, to where every single penny goes directly to Caleb House. So I will be working with them. I will set up the online auction. You will go there, do the bids. Once the auction is over, every single cent goes to them. It does not come to me in any form, fashion, anything like that. Every single penny goes to them. Once they have confirmed payment, they will then contact me and tell me that the prize has been paid for, and I will then send it out. So if you have any donations, now granted, this might still be another 2-3 weeks or so into the making. I know I've got somebody that is finishing up something. I'm not sure how much longer they need in order to get it to me. But if you are doing any donations, you can either A, send it to me, or B, uh, send me pictures of it, and because that's all I need, and then I will get with you on who is the winner, and you can send directly to them. And if you need help on shipping, contact me. I can pay for the shipping for when somebody wins. Quick disclaimer: every single person that wins will have a tracking number, and then I am not liable for anything that happens with post office. We recently just had a winner that it took like 10 days to go like 3 states or something like that. So I will do everything in my power to make it right. If you, win and it gets lost in the mail or something happens or whatever, we'll figure out something to make it right. But just bear with us, okay? Because we're not made of money. We're trying to help people out and do a charity. So, all right, enough of that. So I recently got an email, and they want to know my thoughts on World War III. And I have been trying to not do a video on this, but they this wasn't like a 2 sentence thing. This was uh, really well. I mean, it took me probably a good 5-6 minutes to read through the whole thing. Okay, so let me break this down the best I can. Will World War III happen? Yes, 100%. Um, will it happen in our lifetime? I don't know. Uh, is it close? It could be. And bear with me. If you are new here and you are looking for a doomer video to where I scare the pants off of you, it's not going to be the video for you. Uh, for the rest of you, could it happen tomorrow? It could. Could it happen next week, next month, next year? It could. Could it happen 100 years from now? I believe it's probably going to be sooner than that, but it could. Um, your biggest thing is to prep for it, but prep like you have the time. So do the things. Don't always make it to where, and I see this mistake a lot, to where people will doom scroll and they get all their information from TikTok and all this other thing, and from all these people that are wearing all this blacked out or camo, and they have all these fancy gadgets and all this other stuff. And at the end, they're also trying to sell you everything. Um, those are the ones that you need to be careful of. Uh, but when it comes down to if I think it's going to happen soon, I would say you have a good chance within the next couple of years. There's actually a chance that it could be a heck of a lot sooner. It could be this year. It very well could. I don't know. Um, we'll have to wait and see. One of the things that I'm looking for is I don't think it's just going to spawn overnight. I think you'll see signs first. I think you'll see probably several black flags and then a possibility of a black swan starting event. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, let me explain for a second. So, what I believe is that if you really do have a bunch of people all over the world that are vying for position and to make the other side weaker and things like that, give them a leg up, then you have insurgencies and you have planted people and sleeper cells and things like that. We have them. Everybody else has them. It's no big anything. Um, so one of the things that you want to do is probably keep an eye on local news and regional news and then world news, and start looking for the one-offs. Don't read just the headline and think that you know everything on it. When a train derails, go read on how many trains derail in a year, okay? uh, but when you see something that maybe sparks your interest, go research it. And then if you go, whoa, that is kind of rare, maybe start looking at it. Or if you see the same thing happening over and over and over, if the power grid keeps getting taken out by small arms fire and it just happens to be in the same state within a 10-mile radius of kind of the same areas, and it's close to a pretty important military base, maybe there's something there. Okay. And my thing too, how many people plot this stuff down? When you see something that sparks your interest, pull out a map, you know, plot it down. Uh, even like right now, I don't know if you're watching on a computer or a tablet, a phone, whatever, but you can literally go get a map and you can plot different things on there. Put a little pin there, it'll open up. You can put down a little information and you can start going through and looking at different things. Blue is plane crashes, purples is buildings that spontaneously catch fire, greens is, this or that, and start doing all that and see where all that comes and see where everything seems to land. You'd be kind of surprised if you actually plotted everything out, how much it paints the picture, and you're not reliant on somebody else to tell you. So, getting back into it, you never actually know. Okay, World War III could happen anywhere. A lot of people are looking at what the media wants to tell them. It's going to happen between NATO and Russia and Ukraine. It could. It's going to happen between China and Taiwan. Again, it could. Or maybe it's some sort of, spot because Russia, China, Iran, even friendly countries, we all have military bases all over the place. Maybe that first rocket heard round the world is going to come from the North or South Pole. Maybe it's going to, circle around. Maybe it's going to come from a satellite above. We don't know. And that's kind of the big thing. Remember the big old saying that I don't know what World War III is going to be fought with, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. So there's a lot that goes into it. Now, I know I had some people also contact me asking me about the draft. It's of no surprise. It's an indicator, kind of like what we talked about. looking for signs. This is definitely an indicator. You're seeing it all over the place. There's a lot of NATO countries that are putting up the draft and different other things, making it mandatory or going through and revamping the rules and regulations on it. Um, it's going to be interesting to see how everything shakes through on our end. Right now, it's 18 to 25 for males. They're trying to add females in there as well. It's going to be interesting on how everything goes because you're right now you do not have the public opinion. Remember, you've got to win the hearts and minds before you can run off to war for the most part, unless you're some dictatorship or something like that. But here in a free society, you got to have public support. Nobody's going to really willingly let their sons and daughters go off to a foreign country to have the chance to never come home again if they don't back the idea of them leaving in the first place. Uh, look at Vietnam. There were so many people against that war. But when you have things like a 9/11 event, then all of a sudden everybody came together. It didn't matter. All you had to do was uh, basically just point and say go, and people went. Everybody just rallied and united, and they all had a common enemy. And I think whatever you want to say about that, we're going to leave that one alone. If you had an event like that happen, it could be a very, very dangerous thing. Getting back to it, I believe one of the last statistics that I saw was 48% of Americans are considered obese, um, or maybe overweight, and then it was like 30 something percent was obese. And then the people that was overweight ish that could potentially go into the military had underlying conditions where it would make them ineligible. So it'll be interesting to see. Now, keep in mind that when you insinuate the draft, one, I think you'll have a huge baby boom because I'm sure they don't want pregnant women on the front lines. So I think you'll have a monstrous baby boom. That'll be one of the ways, if you're a female, that might get you out of the draft. Two will be you'll probably have a bunch of people suddenly take up marijuana. Marijuana is legal in a bunch of different places, so if you can legally go do it, unless they waive that to where you can be high and serve, I don't see that happening. But hey, who knows? Uh, there's a lot of different things that I foresee. I did hear an interesting one. I think I shared it before, where they were going to try and do two birds with one stone. Now, keep in mind, this is a rumor, but they were going to go after 2A rights and say, um, if you want to keep your 2A, that is completely fine. You will round all of them up that you own, and you will be drafted regardless of age or gender, and you'll be taken over the front line because you own a 2A, and therefore you're already trained and you can go fight right now. If you own them and you are willingly uh, will give them up, then we will actually excuse you from the draft. That way, that when everybody's pretty much gone and all the weaponry is gone, then it'll be a lot easier to control a disarmed populace. Again, rumor. I wouldn't put it past them. I don't see them doing something like that. That's probably a really good way to spark a civil war. Which, really quick to interject into that, I have been seeing a very dangerous trend online here lately, mostly on Telegram and a bunch of other ones that are. And it's almost verbatim, almost the same over and over, just words just slightly different. Of I'm not going to be the one that takes the first shot, but I'll definitely step in and unload my mag after somebody else does it. Sort of uh, uh, communications and things like that. And so I see the rhetoric. It's getting closer. People, it's not just saying it anymore. It's not just, I'm frustrated. It's not just, look at me, I'm cool, look how tough I am. People I think are starting to mean it, and they're pushing their toes closer and closer to that line. And I think it comes into the fact of the amount of people that believe a civil war in the United States is inevitable, and the amount of blue and red that believe it is daggone near close. I think both of them were in the 40s. It was like 48% of Republicans and 42% of Democrats. So even political, it doesn't matter. Uh, it's about the same percentage, and so that's a little concerning. But we'll have to see. Again, it's those people that uh, just kind of get the fatigue, and they go, just get it over with already. Just bring it on. Let's just band-aid it. Let's just rip this thing off. Um, I get it to a certain extent, but you don't want it. Okay, a civil war in the United States will be ugly. There will be no uniforms. You will have probably every person of every facet of life against each other. It's not going to matter about age. It's not going to matter about religion, color of skin. It's not going to matter about profession. I think you're going to have people in, say, like the National Guard. One is going to be by the book and do what the commanding officer tells them to do, and the other one's going to say, no, this is wrong. And you're going to have two people of the same uniform pitted against each other. You're going to have family against family. You're going to have family members against, their own family, neighbor against neighbor. Uh, it's going to be ugly. You're going to see pandemonium and chaos like you've never seen. It'll spill very, very quickly and spread very, very quickly. Once you tiptoe into anarchy, it'll be bad. Okay, there's not enough of all the people that run around and they want to scream. The biggest thing is you've got to prepare for is when they call martial law. They can't lock down a major city. There's not enough personnel. It doesn't matter if they start weaponizing the meter maids. It's just not going to happen. There's too many people. It's think about it kind of like a school. You have all the adults that are teachers, teacher aides, custodians, lunch lady, all that, okay? And think about how many students are in there. The only way that order is maintained is because the upbringing and the way that you obey that, okay, I have a respect. They treat me with respect. I treat them with respect. There's rules and order and things like that. We're a rule based society, and there's an understanding. But if you had every single one of them kids just go, we're walking out, we're leaving, there's nothing that any of them adults could do to keep them kids in the school. It won't happen. It doesn't matter. And it's that same thing. You can take and get every National Guard and everybody you possibly can and surround a major city. It's not going to happen. So that's one I wouldn't worry about. Okay. There's plenty of other things. But the same thing, I get people all the time. I want to do this, but I don't have money. Okay. What do you want to do? Well, I want to garden and this and that, but this and excuse and whatnot. Um, Go find it wild. Uh, you know, Ask somebody, hey, I know that you grow. Do you have a couple extra seeds? You don't need much to get started. Technically, you need one seed. Grow that. And if you can produce a fruit or a vegetable, then that produces seeds that next year you can grow a lot more. Go out into the park, go out to somewhere public and pick an apple, pick a pear, pick something. And guess what? Those have seeds in it. Drop it in the ground. Well, Roy, I live in an apartment and I don't have. Go find some ground that you can plant it. Do you have a bug out location? Take some of those seeds and plant it there. That way, if you ever have to bug out, you have fruit trees. Take a bunch of that things. Go find wild strawberry, throw them down on the ground, let them do their thing. They're wild. That's what they do. They go to the ground and they grow wildly. It's a great thing. Uh, there's so many people that just get caught up and they get crazy and they get emotional. Take emotion out of it. Emotion gets you hurt, okay? Think with your mind. Don't lead with emotion, okay? I know it's easier said than done. You've got to condition yourself for it. So, all right, this video went way too long, and I apologize for it. But I want to thank you guys for spending a little bit of time with me, and I want to tell you that I hope you have an amazing day and a blessed day. And I hope that you guys will come back and spend a little bit more time with me later on. We hit like 2,300 subscribers for the first time. So thumbs up. Thank you guys. You guys rock. I appreciate it. Stay tuned because there's definitely more information to come. And with that, I want to tell you to please remember to remain united because we're all prepping in this together.